Christmas Eve, all is silent, except for a slight sound coming from the roof. A chubby Santa Claus, dressed in his signature red robe, carrying a heavy bag of gifts, carefully moves to the chimney. He rubbed his hands together, his face filled with a kind and slightly excited smile. It's that time of year again for giving gifts. Ho ho ho, he murmured to himself, preparing to enter the house through this traditional shortcut to bring surprises to the children. He took a deep breath, made sure he wouldn't get stuck, and then, like an experienced diver, slowly stuffed himself into the pitch-black chimney. Not far after sliding down, a gust of cold wind, accompanied by an indescribable, strange smell, rushed towards us. Santa's heart skipped a beat, feeling that something was not quite right. Suddenly, a dark shadow darted past him with a whoosh, also letting out a squeak, squeak, scream. Ha! Santa Claus was scared out of his wits. The sound was more piercing than any reindeer he had ever seen. His massive body instantly stiffened in the narrow chimney, followed by an unprecedented burst of survival instinct. He used both his hands and feet, rolling and crawling, with an agility that was extremely disproportionate to his size. He popped out of the chimney with a bang. He was panting heavily. His heart was racing, and his face was pale. Looking closely, his once snow-white beard was now stained black with soot. His red hat and clothes were also covered in black dust, making him look like he had just crawled out of a coal mine. He touched his face, and his hands were also covered in black, making him look exactly like a charcoal Santa Claus. He hasn't recovered from the shock yet, and he's still muttering to himself, "Rats, rats. Oh my God, I'm most afraid of rats." Just then, there was a sound of footsteps from inside the house. A sleepy little boy came out rubbing his eyes and saw this dark, panting, unidentified object on the roof. The little boy blinked, then exclaimed excitedly, "Mom! Mom! Look! It's Santa Claus! Is he here to bring us coal?" Santa Claus almost spat out a mouthful of blood when he heard that. He lowered his head to look at himself, then looked at the gift bag he was holding tightly in his hands. It was clearly filled with shiny toys and candies. So how did it become coal? He wanted to cry but had no tears, thinking, now it's all over. Not only was I scared half to death by the mouse, but I was also mistaken for a coal delivery man. This Christmas is really black. He had no choice but to force a smile that was more like crying at the little boy, silently vowing in his heart, next year, no matter what, I won't go down the chimney. While saying ho ho ho, he tried hard to wipe the soot off his face, but the more he wiped, the blacker it became, making him look even more like a comical black-faced clown. The little boy clapped his hands happily, pointing at him and shouting, "Black charcoal Santa! Black charcoal Santa!" Santa Claus wanted to cry, and now his new nickname is confirmed. He looked at the gift bag in his hand, then at his all-black attire, and suddenly had an idea. He took out a piece of black chocolate from the bag, handed it to the little boy, and said, This is Santa Claus's special black charcoal chocolate. Eating it will make you smarter." The little boy's eyes lit up. He took the chocolate and happily ran back to show it off to his mother. Santa Claus watched the little boy's receding figure, shaking his head with a mix of tears and laughter, thinking, it seems that this year's Christmas is destined to be the most black memory of his career. He sighed, deciding that next time he would just go in through the door, even if he had to knock. It would be better than being scared by a mouse and covered in black, and mistaken for a coal delivery robber.